Hello students, today we are going to start our new chapter, that is our nervous system. I am Sakshi Mathur. So let's start the new chapter. The topics which we are going to study in this chapter are, we will study first of all about our nervous system. We will study about our brain, the different parts of the brain, that is cerebrum, cerebellum, medulla oblongata, spinal cord, nerves and its types, and we will study last about the reflex action in this video. So let's start the chapter. What is nervous system? So let me ask you a question first of all. Do you remember the names of all your friends? Or if I says that, why do you pull your hand back if it touches something hot? Have you even thought of these things? Our brain is the boss. It controls everything that happens in our body. So, let's study the importance and working of our nervous system. Our nervous system has three main parts. First part is the brain. You can see the picture on the right side. The spinal cord and the nerves. All these three parts consist and are controlled by the nervous system. Whatever actions we do, brain and spinal cord forms the central nervous system, that is CNS, and the nerves from the peripheral nervous system. Together they control all the other organ systems of our body. Now let's study each one of them separately. First is the brain. You can see the picture that the brain is located in the skull, main controlling unit of human body. It is a delicate and protected by skull. You can see that how the brain is fixed in the skull. It's clearly depicted on the picture. Now, the brain is filled with a clear liquid which provides cushion against the jerks and injuries. Whatever jerks we get from in our body, it is protected with a liquid. The liquid which is present between these layers of the brain is called meninges. So what is the name of the liquid which provides a cushion against jerks and injuries? Meninges. So basically the brain is the master computer, right? And is protected by the skull, which is a hard bony structure, and the liquid which is present inside the brain is called the meninges. Now the brain is divided into three main parts. The brain has three parts. First is cerebrum. You can see in the picture. We will study each one of them separately. Second is cerebellum, and the third is medulla oblongata. Let's study first about cerebrum. So basically the structure of brain looks like this, which is visible on your screen, and the major part of the brain, it's the cerebrum. It is the largest part of the brain. Its surface has many grooves. You can see in the picture that the surface is not smooth. It has many grooves and folds. But what is the function of cerebrum? It controls the working of our sense organs. It is the part that enables us to think, decide, learn, remember, dream and feel. So basically all the major chunk of the learning is stored in the cerebrum. It also helps us to understand the meanings and solve problems. Like whatever I am saying, you are able to understand, right? Why? Because of the cerebrum. It is called the center of intelligence. What it is called as? Center of intelligence. So the largest part of the brain is called as cerebrum, which enables us to think, decide, learn, remember, dream and feel. Let's move to the next part of the brain, that is cerebellum. Cerebellum. It is an egg-shaped part that lies below the cerebrum. You can see in the blue picture, which is visible on the screen, that the grooves part you have now understood that it is cerebrum. So The egg-shaped part is called as cerebellum, which is at the back of our head. That is at the back. Fine. It controls. Now, what is the role of it? It controls the activities of our muscles and coordinates all the voluntary actions of our body. Voluntary action means what we want to do, like running, walking and swimming. Like voluntary actions basically which are in our control, like when we want to run, when you want to walk, when you want to swim. These all are controlled by cerebellum. It helps us to balance our body. The body balance is done by cerebellum, part of the brain. Now, what happens if it does not function? If it does not function properly, our body movements will become jerky. Yes, our body balance, our body movements will not be as smooth if cerebellum part is not working. So what is the role of cerebellum? That it coordinates with all the voluntary actions of our body and maintains the balance of the body. The last part of the brain is Medulla Oblongata. I am again pronouncing this, Medulla Oblongata. So now you can see in the picture, the first groovy part is called cerebrum. Egg-shaped part which is at the back of the head is called cerebellum. And now you can see a small stem-like structure coming out of the brain. It is called as Medulla Oblongata. It is also called as the brain stem, and it connects the brain to the spinal cord. So basically it is a stem which connects brain to the spinal cord. It controls all our involuntary actions. Involuntary action means which are not under our control, like breathing, beating of heart, right? It is even active when we are asleep. Yes, when we are sleeping, then also this medulla oblongata is working continuously because it controls all our involuntary actions. So our brain needs a continuous supply of blood and also requires proper rest and sleep to proper function. So these are the three parts of the brain. First is cerebrum, which controls the thinking, cerebellum, which controls the muscle movement and the voluntary actions, and third is the medulla oblongata, which connects the brain to the spinal cord and controls our involuntary action like breathing and beating of heart. Now, next part of our nervous system is spinal cord. You can see in the picture that how it does look like. It is at the back basically of our body. As a major part of the central nervous system, spinal cord is a thick bundle of nerves that connects the brain to all body parts. It starts from the back portion of the brain, that is the medulla oblongata, which I had explained you just once minute before, and continues down to the lower end of our backbone. It starts from the medulla oblongata and ends at the lower end of the backbone. Backbone we have learnt in our previous chapter, that is our skeleton system. If you haven't watched that, please go and understand what is backbone. It is protected by the backbone. Now the spinal cord is protected by a backbone. Now a cover is also there on the spinal cord. It is called as the backbone. It is responsible for the transfer of information between the brain and the rest body parts. It also controls the actions that do not involve the brain, that is reflex action. We will be studying this topic further in this video. So the parts of the spinal cord we have already learnt in our previous video: cervical, thoracic, lumbar, sacral and coccyx, right? So this was the spinal cord. It is covered with the backbone, which has 33 vertebral columns. Fine. Next part is nerves. Now, what is the function of nerves? Nerves are the long threads like structures that carry messages between the brain and the other body parts. Very, very important. What is the function of nerves? That it carry the messages, what the brain wants to say to other body parts, because brain cannot move from one place to another, right? So brain sends the messages to all body parts, and who carries that? Nerves. They are made up of special cells called neurons or the nerve cells. Yes, they are made up of special cells. The special structure cells are called as neurons or the nerve cells. There are thousands of neurons in a single nerve fiber. Thousands of neurons are there in a single nerve fiber. They carry messages from one place to another. Now, nerves from different parts of the body are attached to each side of the spinal cord. The nerves are attached to the each side of spinal cord from all the parts of the body. The nerves from the head and the neck join the brain directly. We are called as cranial nerves. Now listen, head and neck nerves which are attached directly to the brain are called as cranial nerves. And nerves are like information highways that carry messages and to and from the brain. Basically they are the highways, they are the carriers, or you can say basically they are the postmans, that they carry messages from one place to another. And what is that place? From brain to the other body parts, and what the other body parts want to say, they also carry the same message to the brain. Now, three types of nerves are there: sensory nerves, motor nerves and mixed nerves. What are sensory nerves? What is the difference between all these three? Let's study. Sensory nerves carry messages from sense organs. The name itself suggests sensory nerves, sense organs, to the spinal cord and then to the brain. These nerves carry messages from the sense organs like skin, touch, nose, smell, ears, hear, eyes, see and tongue, taste, to the spinal cord and then to the brain. So whatever we eat, if we feel it is salty, then these nerves will carry the message to my brain that it is salty. Then I am able to know or recognize the taste. So it goes from sensory nerves to spinal cord and then spinal cord to the brain. Motor nerves. Second is motor nerve. What does these do? Our brain controls our muscles through these nerves. These are for the muscles. They carry messages from the brain and the spinal cord to the muscle or glands. Basically they controls our muscles. Motor nerves are for the muscles. Mixed nerves. Mixed nerves means that they are doing a mixed job. Right? So these nerves carry messages to the brain and also bring orders from the brain. Sensory and motor nerves carry communication one way only. Sensory and motor nerves carry communication, that is the message, to one way only, while mixed nerves carry communication both the ways. If it is going, and then it will come back also. So these were three types of nerves which are present in our body. Next is reflex action. So have you ever noticed that whenever you touch a hot object, within a fraction of second you pull your hand back? Why? What happened? Or whenever you touch a cold object also, sometimes we get a jerk in our body and we pull our hand back. Why? Reflex action. Because of the reflex action, it is an automatic reaction of the body to stimulation, because stimulus is generated in our body. What happens when you accidentally touch a hot object? You withdraw your hand immediately, right? So, do you think before taking action? Do you take time? No, it is hot, I should remove my hand. No. This is an automatic response to that particular event that happened. This automatic response, for which we do not think before doing it, is called as reflex action. When we don't take a fraction of second, to think that I should pull my hand out. No, we do not think. It happens automatically. It is called as reflex action. These actions are controlled by the spinal cord. As soon as we touch any hot or sharp object, a nerve carries the message to the spinal cord. The spinal cord directs us to withdraw our hands immediately. Yes, the nerves carry message to the spinal cord and the spinal cord directs us to withdraw our hands immediately. Now, this happens sometimes. Other examples of this reflex action are coughing, sneezing, blinking of eyelids. When we blink our eyelids, do we think that no, I should blink it now? No, it is an automatic response. So it is also an example of reflex action. One more question is to you. Please write in the comment box if you know the answer. Is watering of the mouth is an example of reflex action? Please do let me know in the chat box. We'll continue this chapter. Thank you and have a nice day. I hope you have understood the parts of the nervous system, that is the brain, spinal cord and the nerves. The parts of brain: cerebrum, cerebellum and medulla oblongata. We'll continue this chapter in the next part. Thank you and have a nice day.